Hey everybody, this is Christy Howard. My mom is a non-alcoholic cirrhosis patient, and I have come up with a way that we can make her eat lactulose or take her lactulose that's not so harrowing for her, and it's adding it to Jello, and I promised a video. I'm sorry it's taken forever. We've just been a little bit busy, but anyway, we're going to get down to that today. Now, the first thing I've done is I went to Amazon and I bought 4-ounce portion cups. They're also known as souffle cups. They come with the cups themselves and the lids. And then what I did was got a plastic container. That way I can hold the cups in it when I make the portions. You could use either a cake sheet or something like that. Here's how I've got it laid out. And so I've got 12 portions in there, so that's going to be 12 doses, and we will go from there. Okay, first thing you need to do is get your loved one's bottle and find out what their dose is. So this is 30 milliliters by mouth 3 times a day. So what I did was I went to my iPad and I said, how many tablespoons is 30 milliliters?
That would be 2.03 tablespoons.
So as you can see, 2.03 tablespoons is what her dose is. So that's 2 tablespoons and just a shade over. So now I will get her, found these at Walmart, measuring spoons. This one actually, it's by Farberware, has a 2 tablespoon dose. So that is key. Now I'm going to show you guys how to measure it so you can make your dosing right. Okay, so when you're making Jello, you use 2 packets or 1 packet, but anyway, the most common would be 2 packets. And that requires 2 cups of boiling water and 2 cups of cold water. Well, we've got to consider we're compensating some of the fluid with the lactulose. So what I'm going to do, I've got 12 doses. I'm going to put 12 doses in a measuring cup, and this cup is a 2-cup measuring cup. I'm going to put 12 doses in here, and then I'm going to see where it comes up on the water line, and then pour it back into the Lactulose cup and go from there. Okay, so as you can see, her 12 doses is 1 cup of fluid. So that means for the cold water, we're only going to use 1 cup of cold water, and the rest of it's going to be lactulose. And so what I'm going to do now is put these 12 doses in the souffle cups. That way I don't have to pour it back in the bottle. I know I said I'd pour it in the bottle earlier, but I'm like, that's a step I don't need to waste. Now, her lactulose is clear. It's just this cup is stained from the strawberry Jello. I don't know how that happened unless it was actually in the bowl whenever it was waiting to be cleaned and must have got some in it. But I like using the 4-ounce portion cup because that gives plenty of room to put a lot of Jello in it. That way it's not just so stick down and kind of like a skin almost. So I'm going to break and I'll show you what this looks like. So in 4-ounce cups, oops, I missed one. In 4-ounce cups, here is what 1 cup of lactulose, which is 2 tablespoons each, because that's her dose. This is 30 milliliters in each cup. And like I said, I missed that one, so I'll have to pour it out of the measuring cup and add it to that. But that's what it looks like beforehand. That's how hard you want your water to bubble for a good clean Jello. If you use tap water like Mom used to do, really hot tap water, or you don't boil it too much, it's not going to dissolve the gelatin that good, and this is what you need. Now your next step is going to be pour this into the packets and stir until it's dissolved. I'm going to do that step, but it's just me recording, so you won't see this step. Okay, now that I've got a hand free, I've added the boiling water to the actual Jello, and I'm dissolving it right now. If your loved one or yourself has a history of bleeding, I wouldn't do a red-based Jello because it might hide a bleed. I don't know, but I just wouldn't do it. Mom has never had any bleed. She's never had any banding, and she loves strawberries, so this is what we're doing for her. Now, after this, what I'm going to do is add a cup of cold water, which I've already got on standby. And remember, the other cup is into the portion containers with lactulose. Otherwise, you would be putting a whole 2 cups of water if you were just making Jello for yourself or your friends or your kids. Now, what I'm going to do is pour this back into the cup I was using, the measuring cup, because it's got a nice spout on it. And I'm going to put it into the portion cups. Okay, here's the easy part. Now, it probably won't be for me because I'm using this one hand. Add your Jello to each one, about 3/4 full. And what you're going to do is mix it up. And I like to use a little fork to mix it. But the beauty about doing it this way is that you know that the portion's going to be consistent throughout. I've got a little extra in that bowl. I've got to go fill it, and I'll be right back. Okay, now the portions are in the cup. I just take a fork and stir it just to make sure it's kind of equally distributed in there. Now, you certainly don't have to put so much Jello if you don't want it to be a big thing. My mom happens to love Jello. It's one of her favorite desserts. And so I give her a little bit bigger. The thing to remember is the proper portion of her lactulose dose is in here. So if she eats one of these cups, she's taken her dose. And she had whooping cough as a kid, and it messed up with her throat. So a lot of liquids, especially the thick ones, she just can't tolerate. It makes her nauseated, it makes her gag. And of course, from what I understand, lactulose does that to a lot of people anyway, whether they've got a throat issue or not. Now, I don't have any models on standby on these, but put these in the refrigerator. I'd keep the lids off until they've actually been set, because if you put the lids on now while it's still warm, you'll get kind of this skin type sheen on the top of it, and it's just not a good texture. But anyway, you do this until they're set, and then all you do is pop out a portion and let your loved one eat it, and hopefully it'll work for them like it does with Mama. Good luck with this, guys. I know this is a hard disease.